Hello everyone, it's time for another figure review video, and this is kind of a different one. I've never reviewed anything like this before. This is a MiniMates series from Invincible, which, if you watch my comic reviews, I rant and rave about how much I love Invincible. It's a really awesome comic book, independent comic published by Image, and it's written by Robert Kirkman, who does The Walking Dead. And it is currently illustrated by Ryan Ottley, and it was also created by Cory Walker. It's a really great series, can't recommend it enough. And right away, like all my other figure reviews, I jumped to the packaging first so we can get that out of the way. As we can see here, it's clearly labeled Invincible down at the bottom. It is from the MiniMates series, like I said, which is published, not even published, I don't even know what the word is for toys, created by Art Asylum, I'm assuming, and whoever else is down here seems to be distributed by Diamond, or maybe that's just for Invincible, because there's, it's just a bunch of publishers all over the place. But the back of the packaging has a really great synopsis of the series, trying to describe briefly what each character is that you're getting in this package, and it's actually one of the best descriptions of the series I've read, because it's very hard to describe the series. We have images of some of the figures here on the back. So here's Invincible. I'm going to move this. Invincible, Father Omni-Man, Adam Eve, Alan the Alien, and that's basically the back of it. Really cool packaging though. Let me line this back up again so we can, there we go, it's cool. Right there. So, the box is pretty cool. It's actually pretty big for how large those MiniMates are, because they're quite small. When I first saw this, I really was upset that like some of the only merchandise you can get for Invincible, I'll just grab one of them, the only merchandise you can actually get for Invincible are these little Lego looking guys, but they're actually not that bad at all. They're pretty cool when you start posing them and stuff. You know, I could get into the figures first, but there's a lot of extra little things that you get in this package that I wasn't even really expecting, and it's really nice to get a lot of extra things. Everybody loves extra things. So I'm going to set him down for just a moment. You get two of these stands, all of their pegs in their feet, and I believe their heads, I'm not sure, are Lego compatible. I've never had a purpose for that yet, but they are. You can plug them into these little swoosh clear things, as you can see here, and basically do flying poses and stuff like that, right? So that is pretty cool. They're really nice stands. Like I said, you get two of these with the single base, and then you actually get one of these. The difference is this one, as you can see, has only one base, and I think it's meant for 2 feet. It's just a sturdier one. What I've seen, it looks better if they're flying like with the 2 feet together, or if you're giving it to Alan, who has massive feet, then it's also very useful. So already those are 3 different flying stands we have, and each one of the characters, 2 of them are using it right now, so I'm not going to show them, come with these flat base stands, which are basically just the clear MiniMate stands that come with most MiniMate figures. Some of the older ones I don't think come with them, but these are really handy just because they're, for those 2 reasons back there, you can't even really tell that they're standing up on them. They're really helpful. So I'm going to throw those in the back. There is one more accessory you do get, and since I'm holding on to Invincible right here, the main character, I might as well show you. His mask actually pops off, if the focus would want to show us instead. There we go. So his mask actually pops off and can be replaced with his hair, if I can get it on there. There we go. So you can actually have the Mark Grayson with his mask off for whatever reason. I don't know, but you can do it. He does have some demasked scenes a lot, and I guess since Omni-Man is a demasked kind of superhero anyway, it would create some interesting poses if you were into that. Let me try and get the hair without the head, and it worked. Okay, cool. I'm going to set all the accessory stuff in the back now that we've looked at those. There's a whole lot more in here that's just so cool. I'm surprised that all of this came in here. I was really bummed, when I saw this series, because once again, like I said, I thought they were these stupid Lego looking figures. Just didn't look very interesting to me. Not very detailed. I want like nicer looking figures for Invincible, because I think Invincible deserves better, because it's just such an awesome series, and there's really not much to it other than you can get, not much to the merchandise you can get to it other than this figure line. There is one figure that, actually I'm just going to go grab it. Actually, I don't even know if it'll fit on screen. There's one figure that you can get from the Femme Fatales line that is more than likely not going to fit on the screen here, but I can probably move my camera so we can see it. It's quite massive compared to what we're looking at right now, but it is a very large Adam Eve figure you can get. Here, I'll just kind of like tip it in here. You know what? I'll make a another part of this video where we can talk about it, because I kind of want to talk about all my Invincible figures, because there's really not much of them at all, and this is going to be like the only Invincible merchandise video I can make. I believe there was one other thing though. Oh yeah, there were hero clicks that they made. Kind of old though. I'd still like to get my hands on them because they're still Invincible figures. That'd be pretty cool to get. But anyway, I'll show you how these MiniMates actually move, because they are far more posable than they look. So starting with just the heads, because the masks, as you can see, pop right on and off. Any MiniMate can switch head pieces. Anything that clicks onto their head. Like I could take Adam Eve's hair, I think, and put it onto Mark. I don't know if her hair actually comes off. It should, because it's a different mold. I could put Omni-Man's hair on Mark. I can do anything really. Each part also will pop out if need be. It'd be great if my focus would cool. There we go. The head will probably pop off there if I jerked on it hard enough, but I don't need to. It'll basically move around on this ball joint and look pretty much in any direction, which is cool. The arms on basically every Minimate are going to be similar to this, another ball joint. For such a small figure, as you can see, that's my thumb right there. These are very, very well articulated. There is the elbow joint, goes back a little farther than it should, or needs to, but that's fine, doesn't matter. You're not going to pose them like that, and can go all the way up here. So, just comparing all that range, that's basically a normal human arm, almost. Very, very posable. That's nice. Same deal on the other arm, obviously. The hands on the Minimates are these little cup shapes, generally. And that's because most of the things that characters can hold will typically fit into this, it's just a template for the default shape that they can hold things with. Nothing in their set needs holding, but there are other Minimates that come with things like, I don't know, guns and swords, things like that they can actually hold. All that stuff is interchangeable with Minimates, so if you got some other ones, you would be able to interchange stuff and actually, make them hold things, make them do other things. At one point, I actually popped off this Mark's head and replaced it with a zombie one from the Walking Dead Minimates, and did some cool setup with a zombie Invincible going after Rick Grimes, which was pretty cool. So basically, yes, they are completely compatible with each other. Recently I just discovered this joint in here at the waist, which is actually really cool, really helpful, because think about how much more posing that just gave you. It's no longer a static cube, It's crazy how much detail they put into these things. Aside from the fact that we're not even talking about the paint, which, if that is paint, which it does look like it is paint, not a sticker, it's very well done. It's very detailed. There's muscles and everything painted onto him. On the back, you've got all the detailed stuff. It actually says trademark Kirkman and Walker. Sorry, that was off screen. Kirkman and Walker, which is pretty interesting. Poor Ryan Otley needs to be on there too. He deserves it. And so that was the hips. The leg is similar to the shoulder, and then the knee, because of Mark, he has that knee pad in the way, but I don't think any of the Minimates actually kick farther than that. That's how the leg is going to be moving. Same deal on the other one. Mark is actually a bad example for how the foot moves, because he has those big knee pads. So I'm actually going to switch him with, I'm gonna grab Eve back there. Come on, put your mask on. Thank you. As you can see, was using one of those stands, which just pops right into the foot. Sometimes the foot will want to pop out with it, but it's no big deal. It comes right off, it goes right back on. These things are very similar to Legos, except they're extremely posable. So anyway, like I said, the foot can actually rotate and go in pretty much any direction, which is really, really posable if we start, you know, contorting things and trying to pose them in certain ways. So you can really do a lot with these things, and I was really surprised. I guess I'll just keep talking about them while I hold the sculpts themselves up closer to the camera so you can get a better look. So this is the Adam Eve one. Like I was saying, actually I don't think I was saying yet. I was at a comic convention. Actually I think I was selling at Cincy Comic-Con this year, and I found these at another booth. Actually I think Kim, my girlfriend, found them first. She came back and told me about them. And unfortunately, they were $25 for the box, and I was like, it's so much money. I think they were like 15 bucks online, which I was actually wrong. They are typically like 20 online, and that's before shipping and everything, so it kind of stinks. They kind of cost a lot, but then I was like, well, it's like $5 a figure, which isn't that bad, and they are very, very posable, so it is not bad at all. There's that cape back there. Capes will actually hook onto a little ring around the neck as you put the head on, as you see in there, just if you were curious on how that was working. Grab Omni-Man. And I ended up going over to talk to the guy, see if I can get a better price on these things. And we were talking about them, like why the price is actually that high, because it's a bummer. He turned out to be a huge Invincible fan too. It's why he put him like front and center in all of his stuff to try and get them to a good home. So fortunately they have gone to a good home, and after all that I ended up getting them for 20 instead, just because he was like, oh, I know you're gonna take care of him, so it's fine, I'll give them to you for 20. I have to. I love Invincible too much to let them go like that. So as you can see, Omni-Man's cape is another one that hooks onto his neck like that. Like I said, all these pieces can be rearranged and given to other people, so I could really give, like I said, Rick Grimes or a zombie a cape if I really wanted to. And Alan is a little different than the others, so it's good that I picked him up last to show you. He's big. There's Mark next to him. So as you can see, Alan is actually bigger, out of scale size-wise to fit with the characters, but he still has the exact same hole sizes and interchangeable part sizes that everyone else does. So that is very good. He actually can take this vest off that he's wearing. I think you have to pop the head off. Yeah, I just decapitated Alan. Oh, that's actually not the way to do it. So that's kind of interesting. So it looks like he has the default head shape of the other MiniMates, and then this has a peg in it to basically mask over it. So in a way, I could really, you know, do this, like Alan the Invincible or something, you know, not just to show, you know, how interchangeable these things are and how there's like no effort that it will take to do something like that. So the vest will slide up if I could get it to, but I don't need to. You get the idea. The vest, as you can see, those arms will slide in the way. It's more of a rubbery plastic than the other parts are. It's kind of hard to move his head. Actually, no, it's not, because it's a different peg piece. It's not that bad. So he's just kind of thicker, bigger. His arms are larger, specifically his hands, which do have the same template shape for holding things, which is very useful if you wanted him to, I don't know, use a sword or steal a gun or something. He's got the same torso, and his leg pieces are a little different. His feet cannot swivel just because they're so big, but the upside of that is having large feet is he doesn't really need one of those stands, which, as you can see, Invincible and Eve are now laying on the ground, standless. I'm gonna at least get him to stand up for just a moment here. He's kicking his leg to the side for some reason. Oh, whatever. He's just being a dope right now. Let's get her to stand as well. And that's basically it for these guys. Like I said, I paid $20 for them. I think that was a good price after everything that I've seen from them now. They're really, really nicely done. They make a nice stand over in the corner where I can put them all together. I can have a little Invincible themed area of my room, which is nice. And sometimes they get mixed in with the Walking Dead figures on purpose, just because it's kind of funny. So I'm already letting you know about another MiniMate video I'm going to be making in the future of the Walking Dead ones. Those are really the only ones I have at this time, the Walking Dead and the Invincible ones, just because I wanted some sort of merchandise from both of the comic series, and that's the ones that I went for. So that's pretty cool. That's about it for this Invincible MiniMate video. So what I'm going to do is move this out of the way. Let's move this whole thing out of the way too, so we can talk about this Adam Eve figure back here that yeah, it's huge. Neglected to make a video on before, so might as well show you at this point. It has a really cool, clear, plasticky looking base bottom there to it. She's quite tall. You can see it's actually going off the edge of my white screen behind me. As you can see to the side, that's what she looks like. She's a little, what's the word? Over-sexualized, in my opinion. Kind of bummed about that. But it's really not that big of a deal. She still looks really good. It's just massive, which is really great. A size comparison here. Let me get a ruler. This doesn't quite go to the bottom, but she's basically about a foot, almost a foot tall. She's, I would say, 11 inches. So, really, really tall figure. I do have her box, but I don't really, this video is not really about her. I don't quite need to show everything about this Eve at the moment. It's no big deal. Try and get a better shot of her face. That was another thing I didn't quite like about this one, that, well, really the only Invincible paraphernalia you can really get anymore. Her face, like, doesn't quite look like Eve, in my opinion. She looks really old. She does have the detailed pink earrings, though, which is pretty nice. Like I said, I think she's really over-sexualized. Her body is, like, you know, like a little over-sculpted. She doesn't really look like that. But I think that was just a trait the creators of that figure series just had for their figures, so whatever. I'm going to take some final shots of the MiniMates, which are the real point of this video, and we can get back to all things Invincible with a nice review synopsis right now at the end. Alright, time for a final synopsis and all that good stuff of the Invincible MiniMate figures. So I would like to say that I've really been just pleasantly surprised with these things. I thought I was going to be spending, you know, a whole lot more money than these things are really worth, and just getting these cheap little Lego-looking crummy figures of really basically opening characters to the series that do eventually all become very, very important in the later book, but they just kind of seem like it's in early stages kind of a product design, and I didn't really know what I was getting into with these, but I'm really surprised with how great they all are, how well done they all look, and I'm mostly surprised with how well they can pose. I looked at these things thinking, like, I'm just going to get a Lego figure out of this. Basically, no articulation whatsoever. I'm not expecting any articulation out of something that's 2 inches tall, but these things are really amazing with how well they can pose and how many things you can do with them, especially how interchangeable they are with the other types of the figures. Anyway, so the Adam Eve figure that I also pulled in, like I said in the video that I forgot to mention, it was about $36.50 is how much I paid for this one. I think her list is somewhere around $40, $45, and that's about what you find her at online. I got a deal for this Adam Eve because the seller really didn't have many people who were interested in getting this figure, which is really kind of depressing for me. Granted, he was selling a lot of other figures from this series, which I think is just a bunch of over-sexualized comic figures. Nobody get mad at me for saying that, but that's just kind of what I grabbed from seeing them all together. And it was kind of depressing that there were no Invincible fans who really wanted any of these figures, and it's really a bummer. I mean, if there was a really great looking Invincible, the main character one, I feel like people would be all over that. Even though there is actually an Invincible figure like that, he just costs hundreds of dollars, and there's only a certain number of them. But anyway, don't even consider that thing. It costs way too much money. I feel like there's so many Invincible fans out there. They deserve something better, and at least with this Atomy figure, we get something. And most of all, I'm just glad that there is something Invincible out there that I can actually get my hands on and set up somewhere as a nice figure display, because really, that's all that this was about. And you know what? If you like Invincible as much as I do, or even half as much as I do, and you watched this far into the video, take a look at the time. You just watched an Invincible figure video for 20 minutes. Go buy these things. And that's all for this time. I'll shut up, guys. I will see you at the next figure review video.